I wish you could buy the, like, card crafting components. I think they're literally just card points, which is kind of lame. I like the term dust, I hear people call them. I can live with that. Card dust. Just makes more sense. You haven't played them? You have them though? If you do have them, you should have a go at my runs once I post them up. I mean, my runs are far from competitive, to be honest. Like Limbo, I'm only like 150. That one really needs work, because that has more physics abuse than this game. This game's pretty straightforward, which I do appreciate. There are like skips, sort of, but it's less abuse in the game and more of just really clean timing. Like where I skip jumping, or where I skip pushing the rock in the hole in a second. Or like you can jump here instead of sliding down, saves you a second or two. This is the rock I was just talking about, where you can jump on it early. I've gotten pretty good at that. I remember I couldn't get that at all. Oh, bad times. Woo! I landed pretty low down there, but I'm just so glad I got away from that dog. Gotcha stuff? What do you mean? Yeah, some of the strats are pretty funky. That game's physics engine is like almost non-existent. So you could just like ragdoll yourself off of everything. This game has its things, like for instance I noticed here, see how he goes into like a fall animation? The fall animation makes my jump spam faster. Jumping is also faster at any points where you're going up or downhill, because you can jump faster. Well, uphill you jump faster, downhill falling is faster than running. I think right here though I can just sprint until right here. Ooh, boxy BS? Oh, okay. I thought the dogs were gonna get me again. Some of the platforming is pretty tight in this game, I will say. I think that's part of why there aren't that many, like, abuses to it. Like, I mean, I know I'm a speedrun and all, but particularly I take pride in my platforming ability. So when I struggle on a jump like that, I know there's something going on. Like, they really want you to jump, like, right at the edge of the cliff. Or a little bit early, really, so you could, like, jump over the cliff. Because once you're in the air, the dog can't get you. But it seemed like I was losing time jumping in a certain point there last time. Oof. Yeah, that's a terrible system. Have you ever played Warframe? I think Warframe is the best freemium kind of game I've ever played because you can buy currency. The currency does get you some like cosmetic like uniqueness, but the weapons and characters you can grind. And then like when those items eventually get removed from the game, which they do, you can hold on to them and trade them to people who aren't able to get them, and they'll give you premium currency. So basically, even without paying for premium currency, you'll be able to get premium currency. It's a brilliant system. And then like if you really want to collect all like the cosmetics or what have you, you have the option to do it through that. But you could also use your paid currency to buy like weapons and characters and stuff. You just wanted to get them early. I used to buy a shit ton of bobbleheads. I had all the bobbleheads in Warframe in one room. They were called Noggles in Warframe, but they were bobbleheads. Yeah, that's valid. Some of those games are pretty long too. Like if you're doing like some grinds on survival, I used to do like literally like 40-minute to an hour survival matches with a good team. 40 minutes is like when we would consider getting out if our team up wasn't doing so hot for whatever reason. An hour usually just because at some point you don't want to like just keep risking loot. You want to get out there and just get a new batch of loot, right? The reason we did it in 20s, it just, you know, since we're on the topic of Warframe, you might already know, but they have like A, B, C, D rewards. So leaving every 20 minutes basically gets you the full rotation of reward options. My favorite was Valkyrie, just because I used to play a lot of survival and defense, and I loved her invulnerability and her like self-heal. It was such a good system. Saren's good though. Wisp, I didn't play too much of. They're pretty new. I also really liked Loki, Wukong. I can't think of the mummy's name right now. Inaros, right? Inaros. My thing was I loved tanky characters. Characters that could just like stay alive or like indefinitely do stuff. Like Loki can be invisible forever. Wukong heals on hits. Or he heals on hits and he enters like in an immortal state. His two little gimmicks. And Inaros is like the tankiest character in Warframe. Last I checked. Although his ability doesn't really match Valkyrie's like literal immortality. She's a little better for that. But as far as like damage resistance, Inaros. Hildryn? I don't know that one. I think that's also a pretty new one. Helga and Iron Man. That makes me think of the like squid dude. He was pretty cool. I think it was just Hydrus, something simple like that. I'm glad even though I forgot about that hole, I wasn't really punished for it. Big F. Alright, not a big deal. Is she like designed to be like a fly, sort of? I feel like or maybe like a butterfly, that some sort of thing. I like sort of recall something like that being added. Yeah, I didn't play that much though. Once they started adding the open world stuff, I wasn't really playing Warframe a whole lot. Like it's pretty cool. I like the fishing, like that open world was pretty cool, but I like barely touched on the other one. Like I can't even like picture it. I think it was like icy. I'm just not really into open worlds, to be fair. Oh, Titania? Yeah, that sounds familiar. Warframe also is just way better with friends. I mean, I had like a relatively small circle that played Warframe. But I also did play a lot of Warframe solo, so I feel like that definitely helped kill the game for me. Plus, there's like always something to buy in the market. That gets kind of exhausting eventually. You're like, I don't want to grind for this new character. Or just the slightly better version of an old character. Yeah. Yeah, that was just like weirdly implemented. I'm pretty sure you could like enter like solo mode or something, but still, I mean, people forget, and I don't know, it was just like a lot of secondary objectives, you know? Even though it was set up as something you would do as a team, it's really not. Like, you got the mining and fishing, and then you got like actual missions, so like very different people joining into that. It's very unlikely you're gonna get squatted with other people who happen to want to go fishing or whatever you're trying to do. I did like the fishing though. The spear fishing was really cool. They had quite a few different fish you can get, especially based on the time as well. I definitely felt like that mini game got some love. Yeah, fair enough. The people you play a game with can definitely make or break it. I feel like For Honor is the greatest example. I love For Honor. Even though it's definitely not the most balanced game in the world. But no fighter is very balanced, in my humble opinion. And the community is mostly pretty toxic, but you know, as long as you're not toxic and you're just there to have fun, like, you should be attracting that kind of wave. Like, you'll just notice the toxicity less. Like, I kind of feel that way with Yu-Gi-Oh! Too, honestly. Like, a lot of people complain about certain archetypes, and I'm like, like, people play what they want, you know? Like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of meta decks. I don't play them. I don't, like, give in to that standard, basically. But I don't exactly, like, notice which ones are meta. I can't say any particular decks like really trigger me, except Time Lords. Time Lords is my one exception because I don't know what they were thinking when they made Time Lords. Yu-Gi-Oh! Already takes a very long time to play, and having a deck like that just like wastes time it's very frustrating. They're not hard to beat. They're not like unbalanced or anything. They're just frustrating. It's not fun to play. I don't imagine they'd be very fun to play as either. I barely made it through the window. Heat on Mike? Yeah, no. That's a hard no. Booted from the party. I may have moved the thing too far. I really hope I can jump to that. It looks like I will be able to. Barely. Oh, I lucked out. If I couldn't have jumped to that, I would have had to come back and grab that box. I would have lost quite a bit of time. Yeah, exactly. Really, it just comes down to the game being a win or suffer kind of system. I'm gonna just get air real fast to play it safe. I don't want to almost drown trying to get this. And it'd be really nice if we at least got dust for losing, right? Like, maybe people were just surrender spam just because dust is hard to get. Like, seriously, they could just give us, like, I don't know, like 5 or like 1 of each dust type, just because they're all like ridiculously hard to get. And then like every 30 loses, you got a handful of cards. It gives people an incentive not to just like rage out as well. And I mean, that's like the bare minimum they can do. It's still kind of a grind, but that would already be like miles above what they're offering now. You get like just like 2 random cards, and it's like both end cards that aren't even gonna scrap to anything. Or like 5 gems. Right, I feel that. That's me with my Destiny board deck that's like literally never gonna win. I've yet to win with my Destiny board deck. But, you know, I'm just waiting for that one deck they can win on. And I don't want to play for 10 hours just to get that win. Like, it's not that important to me. I should be able to get to that pipe. Go, 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 go. I mean, to be fair, they do give you some pretty decent decks, though. Like, if you were to just take any of the archetypes they offer, like Megalith or Glad Beast or like Lightsworn, and just craft and buy into their decks, that would work perfectly fine. One of my friend's main deck is actually Glad Beast, so that worked out really well for him. And they're really good. They have a lot of options. They just struggle to like redeem matches. Like once they start losing, they need like something like Rajiki or something in their deck to come back. They don't really have any of that in their own cards. Oh, I still let go early. No, that was a pretty good skip too. F. I wish you could just grab back onto the chain. It's alright though. This is still pretty good so far. I'm pretty sure I landed lower last time. Feels bad. No worries. They give you a pretty respectable checkpoint there. Like I probably lost like 15 seconds tops. And people really overhype Ash Blossom. She's very situational. What she does is good, but a lot of people like swear by using 3 of them, and I'm like, I would use like 1, maybe, depending on what my deck needs. That's really what it's about. You need to consider what is gonna help your deck, not like what's good, you know? Like, does your deck need like magic negation, or does it need like to shut down the graveyard? Like, what does it not do currently, kind of thing? You always need back row clear, and like monster effect negation never hurts. Banishment, drawing is never a bad idea either. Especially cards that like replace themselves. Like, I think it's Warriors Unite, which is literally just draw a level 4 warrior. So it's a card that instantly becomes another card. That's never a bad thing to have in a deck. Just makes your deck more consistent. There's also one like that for field spells. It's not as good. It's a little more specific, but it's not terrible. I think it's Multiverse. But Multiverse will fit into pretty much any deck, whereas like the other one's only for warriors. I know there's other examples like that, but those are the only two I can think of right now. Yeah, Kaiser's is definitely good. I don't use Maxi. Maxi is even more situational than Ash. It's good. Like, playing Maxi is like playing Yugi's game, which is pretty much building counter decks for specific players. That's what sort of makes it good, is because Maxi works against special summons, and any good deck will have at least a special summon. That's like the logic, but there are tons of good decks that are only going to special summon like once. And they might not even special summon because you used Maxi. Like with my ninja deck. My special summons aren't the most important thing. I could just stall a turn. That wouldn't bother the ninja deck at all. But then you just wasted a card. That's an L. But then there is always a deck like my danger deck where you use Max C, and I mean you're gonna get like 10 cards, but also my danger beasts are designed to OTK, so you probably won't even get to play them unless you draw like a hand trap or something. And even then, people always use Ash Blossom against my danger beast wrong. Because there's like just too many options for like when to use it. That'd be funny. A good deck out deck is vampires. A lot of their effects mill. There's also Chainsaw Insect. When it attacks or gets attacked, discard a card from your opponent's deck. I've done it on Duel Links. Not because of Max C, but I've won that way with Chainsaw Insects. And like hand destruction and a couple other things like that. Like I made a deck that was like actually designed for milling. What? Get up there. He's like kicking off it. Didn't even realize he was there. Gift of Greed? I'm not entirely sure what that does. Oh, you like make them draw? Just thinking about what we were talking about for a second. This is my guess. Interesting. Draw 2? Or just 1? 2 would be pretty rad. Two, nice. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think we're in the same time zone. It's really late for me too, yeah. But, have a great night, dude. Appreciate you for coming in and chatting with me for so long. I tend to be pretty nocturnal through the night, so you may catch me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In the morning. I think this is flatland. That's a hill. The good news is I seem to discover a few different problems with the run last time. Like, I'm already prepared for a few different things that could go wrong. I don't think anything crazy went wrong either, but it all adds up. I'm definitely a nice amount ahead right now. But this is where I lost a lot of time on this rope puzzle coming up. It's been a pleasure. Hey, appreciate that. Glad to hear it as well. I can definitely take pride in that. I mean, this is a game that's really difficult to make a pleasure. It's kind of disturbing. A lot more so than its predecessor. Alright, I'm gonna play this really safe. I'm hoping to get the crew together by the 20 or 30-minute mark. There isn't a whole lot left to this now. No wait, I just realized 3 hours on that clock will be 40 minutes into the run. I think I'm gonna be a little bit over that just because that elevator takes a really long time. Alright, that's the band. About 40 minutes. It'll be like 41, 42 minutes once I get everybody on the platform. I messed that up. At least I realized I didn't take a death. That would have been worse. That like barely projected me. I thought I messed up the timing. I ran ahead of it. Oh, what an egg. I should have been able to make that. I might have to wait now. Perfect. Alright, sweet. It all worked out. Just a couple of second loss. was a pretty well-timed sneeze, if I have to say so myself. And they thought it was a bull. The only reason to push to get me to fall into that. These scientists knew what they were doing. Rather, the engineers working for these scientists. That should be close enough. Well, I almost didn't make it under the door. I was actually really terrified for a sec there. It was so close that for a second I was like, wait. Is the door closing from the top or the bottom? They should be closing from the top. Alright, drowning at about 50 minutes into the run. Give me 1 minute, I have a second. Such a long sequence. Like, I guess it's supposed to be surprising, but come on. Faster revelations, people. I wish there was some kind of purpose to the fish besides just aesthetic. Them following you around definitely gives me the feeling like that they belong somewhere. I forgot that it just bounces off the end so fast. Alright. It was a good play going underneath it right away though, but I done goofed. Oh cool, they started me over here. They knew that that would get a lot of people, clearly. Oh, I actually missed that. It's the first time for everything, right? When you want to be too quick. Good enough? It broke it at least. It didn't send it as far as it usually does. You always discover the weirdest stuff in speedruns, I swear. I have no idea how that missed. Jump boxes don't want me to get a good time, it seems. But I'm still feeling really good about this time, regardless of how those jump boxes feel. I see why I forgot about turning sharp left here now. I came out of the floor. Plus the game is like always taking you to the right. That's definitely done intentionally. I thought I seen the little kid turning back, and I was honestly terrified. Even though I hate how this room sounds, it's one of my favorite puzzles. Wish there was a little bit more to it. That guy was doing such a nice job mopping the floor before I showed up. It's not like I even need this many. Shooting text during a speed run. True speedrunner strats. When you're just like omnipotent about what you gotta do, you know? I knew I could rely on that elevator taking me years. The computer chair. That was gold. I remember really struggling on that part, so honestly, that was really good in my opinion. Could have been worse for sure. And that is game. I got my goal of under, I think it was an hour 40 or hour 30. Made it top 100.